For billions of years, our planet was a world of water, a shimmering, living ocean. But this life was microscopic, a silent, unseen empire of tiny beings. They were the undisputed rulers, perfecting the art of survival in a world we would barely recognize. For eons, they thrived, they evolved, they filled every drop of water with potential. Then, in the quiet depths, a revolution began. Something truly remarkable happened. Some of these single cells, perhaps by chance, perhaps by necessity, began to join forces. They started working together, sharing resources, and communicating in their own simple way. They formed colonies, communities, where cooperation became the ultimate advantage. This wasn't just a group, it was a new kind of being. And from this incredible unity, the very first multicellular life was born. This was a game changer. These new organisms weren't just passively floating anymore. They could move with purpose, sense their environment, and react to it. They could hunt, they could hide, they could explore. Evolution had discovered a brand new pathway, a superhighway leading towards complexity, towards beauty, and eventually towards the kind of life we see all around us today. Then, around 540 million years ago, the pace of change went from a slow crawl to a flat-out sprint. Life didn't just evolve, it exploded. In a relatively short period of geological time, the oceans witnessed a burst of creative energy that has never been matched since. We call this the Cambrian explosion. Suddenly, the seas were filled with creatures that had features we'd recognize today: eyes to see, protective shells, sharp spines, and legs to crawl across the seafloor. Imagine the scene: strange armored trilobites, some as small as your fingernail, others as large as a dinner plate, scurrying along the seabed. These were some of the most successful animals of all time, dominating the oceans for over 250 million years. But they weren't alone. In the open water above, giant predators like Anomalocaris, a creature that looked like a bizarre mix of a shrimp and a squid, hunted with formidable, grasping claws and a circular mouth full of sharp plates. It was one of the first great apex predators, a sign that complex food webs were forming. At the same time, the first coral reefs began to grow, building vast underwater cities that painted the dark seas in vibrant colors and motion. These reefs provided shelter and new opportunities for countless other species, becoming bustling hubs of biodiversity. The Cambrian explosion was life's great experiment. It was as if nature threw everything at the wall to see what would stick, creating hundreds of new body plans and bizarre new forms in what was, in the grand scheme of things, the blink of an eye. This was the moment life got weird, wonderful, and truly wild. For all the drama happening in the oceans, a vast and silent challenge remained. The land, for hundreds of millions of years, the continents were empty, barren landscapes. Imagine a world with no trees, no grass, no soil, just rock and dust, scorched by unfiltered solar radiation. It was a hostile and seemingly lifeless place. But life is nothing if not curious and persistent. Deep in the shallow coastal waters, plants were testing the boundaries of their world. Simple green algae, accustomed to the gentle support of water, began to creep onto the wet shorelines. Over countless generations, they adapted. The first pioneers were mosses and ferns, clinging to damp rocks and spreading a carpet of green across the edges of the continents. These humble plants were terraformers. They started a process that would change the planet forever. As they spread, they began to breathe in the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and exhale precious oxygen. Their roots broke down rock, creating the first true soil. They provided shade from the harsh sun and held moisture, creating a more stable and inviting home. They were literally building a new world, one tiny patch at a time. And where the plants went, the animals were destined to follow. It wasn't long before the first small creatures made the leap from water to land. The pioneers were arthropods, ancestors of insects, spiders, and scorpions already equipped with tough exoskeletons that helped them retain water. They were followed by amphibians, still tied to the water to lay their eggs, but able to venture out and explore this new green frontier. The world was transforming once again. The silent, rocky continents were beginning to echo with the scuttling of tiny feet. The oceans had given birth to forests. Fish, with their fleshy, lobe-like fins, were on the evolutionary path to becoming creatures that walked. Life, once bound completely to the water where it began, had finally found the courage to step out and explore the unknown, to conquer a brand new world. From a planet of fire and rock, to a world teeming with life in the water. From single, lonely cells to cooperative colonies that became the first animals. From the explosive creativity of the Cambrian seas to the slow, determined march of plants and creatures onto the barren land. Every single step of this incredible journey was a story of struggle, of adaptation, and of pure, unadulterated wonder. The story of life isn't a simple straight line from A to B. It's more like a beautiful, chaotic dancer, constant interplay of chance, competition, and cooperation that has been unfolding for billions of years. And the most amazing part, that dance continues all around us, and within us, even now. We are all part of these eons of change, the living story of our planet. For millions of years, the Earth's continents were silent, barren rock. But then, something incredible happened. A quiet revolution that would paint the world in shades of green and change the course of life forever. The once empty lands were no longer silent. They were cloaked in a new, living mantle. Vast, endless forests stretching from horizon to horizon. This wasn't just a few scattered plants. This was a global takeover. Giant ferns and towering scaled trees, some reaching 100 feet high, clawed their way toward the sky. Their leaves drank in the sunlight, and their roots burrowed deep, fundamentally reshaping the earth below. A new era had begun. Welcome to the age of forests. This green revolution transformed the very air our planet breathed. These colossal forests were like planetary lungs, pumping out oxygen on an unprecedented scale. The atmosphere became thick with it, supercharging life. And with every breath the planet took, life grew larger, stronger, and more wonderfully complex. In the skies, insects with wingspans as wide as modern birds became the new rulers. Giant dragonflies patrolled the air, while on the forest floor, millipedes the length of a small car crawled through the humid, swampy undergrowth. The air was filled with the chirps and calls of amphibians, echoing between the giant trunks of this alien world. And hidden deep within these ancient forests, a revolutionary innovation was taking root. The first seeds, plants had finally figured out how to reproduce without water. A quiet breakthrough that would allow them to conquer every corner of the dry land. The earth had found a new green rhythm. But it wasn't just the plants that were making their move onto land. The animal kingdom was right behind them. Creatures began to adapt to this new oxygen-rich world. In a remarkable evolutionary leap, gills gave way to lungs, and fins transformed into strong, sturdy legs. Crawling from the shadows of the primeval swamps, the first true reptiles emerged. Unlike their amphibian ancestors, these creatures were no longer tethered to the water. Their thick, scaly skin offered protection from the sun's rays, and their revolutionary amniotic self-contained life support. Systement, they could lay their young far from the water's edge. They were true pioneers, the vanguards of a new dynasty on land. Evolution was conducting its next great experiment, and the age of giants was dawning. These sprawling forests did more than just house new life. They altered the entire planet by filling the air with oxygen and absorbing vast amounts of carbon dioxide. They began to cool the global climate, shaping new weather patterns and creating diverse environments. But the Earth is never still. As life flourished, the ground beneath it shifted. Continents drifted apart, volcanoes spewed lava and ash into the sky, and massive mountain ranges rose from the plains. New ecosystems were born from the chaos, while old ones vanished into memory. Yet, through it all, life persisted relentless, adaptive, and seemingly eternal. And from the heart of these world-spanning forests, new creatures would arise. Creatures that would one day grow to unimaginable sizes and rule the world, the dinosaurs. Their story was just beginning, written in the soil of these ancient woods. The Earth was no longer a barren rock or a sea of fire. It was vibrantly, magnificently alive, a world, breathing, growing, and constantly evolving. Every falling leaf, every frantic heartbeat, every powerful storm was a note in the grand symphony of our planet's history. This was the story of transformation, a testament to the unstoppable power of life to find a way. The stage was set, the players were evolving, and the next chapter was about to be the most spectacular one yet. Thanks for joining us on this journey back in time. If you're fascinated by the incredible story of our planet, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more adventures into the deep past. See you next time.